today with our class Kosher Kitchen, and we start with Sefer Shmiras Haloshon. And our topic today is sensitivity in speech. And it says, even if one has become accustomed to speaking Lashon Hara and so overcome by his inclination that forbidden talk pours from his lips and without even realizing that what he is saying. Nevertheless, he should not despair. Through the proper study and review of the relevant laws, the dramatic change for the better will occur. This, his very nature will change, and he will find himself carefully weighing his own words as he speaks. Even if he will speak but about Lashon Hara, the words that can lead to Lashon Hara, he will take care. He will take note of it, and will be careful not to repeat his mistake. HaShem has endowed a man with sensitivity, especially with regard to matters of personal speech. This ability is of great asset as a study of Torah. In the study of Torah, for when the student enunciated his thoughts, he can better perceive whether or not they are correct. As sages state, for the words of the Torah, are life to those who express them with their mouths. It's from Eruvin 54a. This ability to discern is true regarding other areas of the speech as well. However, such sensitivity is exceedingly weakened through the habitual involvement in idle conversation and according little thought to what one is saying. However, when one studies the laws of proper speech and as a result becomes cognizant of his own verbal expression, the sensitivity returns little by little until he attains the original strength. Very nicely said. Okay, so let's do it again, and we try to explain and understand. So, sensitivity in speech. Even if one has become so accustomed to speaking Lashon Hara, and so overcome by his evil inclination, that forbidden talk pours from his lips without his even realizing what he is saying. Nevertheless, he should not despair. So there are some people that cannot just shut their mouth, never, and they constantly in a need to speak, to say something, even situation is not called for, just cannot, right? And when a person speaks a lot, so it's only guarantee, maybe 100% or more for sure, right, that person is going to speak Lashon Hara, guaranteed, unless they involve in growth and learning, and they just repeat the words of the sages and back and forth. That's a different story. But otherwise, mundane speech guaranteed, 100%. Through the proper study and review of the relevant laws, a dramatic change for the better will occur. So, of course, we all start with what? Why do I need to stop? From the consequences. So, a person learned the consequences. Yeah, I need to change, but what to change, how to change? A person would say it's impossible for me to change, right? So in this case, what do? Right? We just start introducing laws one by one. And maybe like the first time, for example, the person goes over this book or similar books. Like maybe it's most of them would not stick, most of the laws, but a little would stick, and constantly over and over. And after some times, a person would be like very knowledgeable and would stop himself, for sure. His very nature will change, and he will find himself carefully weighing his own words as he speaks. Again, as our sages say, let's pretend that you pay for every word that you say, $100 bill. Oh, so now you would be very stingy with words, right? So that's how we have to say, does it worth it to pay, or better I keep quiet? So that's what it is. And in some sense, this comparison is not far-fetched, because every Lashon Hara is a huge debt against us. So it's better not to talk Lashon Hara, right, and stay away from that. even if he will speak but avak lashon hara, the words that can lead to lashon hara. So avak lashon hara, just to remind us, is something like it's a dust. Avak is a dust. Something like can be. It depends who you're talking to. Like the information can be perceived is positive and negative. It depends who you're talking to. It depends the relationship within that person and the person we are talking about. It depends on the tone of voice, like eye, like face expression, like many like details. So it could be perceived as negative, could be as positive. So we say it's a avak lashon hara, just stay away from that. All right. So even like that, so it's not clear lashon hara but avak lashon hara. He will take note of it and will be careful not to repeat his mistake. HaShem has endowed man's sensitivity, especially with regard to matters of personal speech. So what does it mean? So meaning the greatest asset of human being and how we are different from animal is the ability to speech. Right? So as Targum Onkelos, that's all translate when HaShem blew the neshama in the nostrils of Adam, he said, and he created a speaking being, right? So meaning that how like description of the world of a man is somebody who can speak. Yeah, these animals also can communicate. They have their own sounds, but it's nothing to compare to a speech of mankind. Okay. For the when a student enunciate his thoughts, it can be better perceived whether or not they are correct. So sometimes a person has thoughts, like he or her, doesn't matter, right? But thoughts like they're not material, like words are also not material. But the thoughts they come and go. But if you speak whatever your idea out, even only you hear, doesn't matter. So it puts this thought in different perspective. So now you can think about delve deeper in your thought. Why? Because it spoke out. It's very very important when we learn, even like just by ourselves. Like nobody needs to hear us to speak, right? And our sages explain a few explanations. One of the explanations, when you speak out the words, all of your organs participate, right? The mouth, the ears, right? The eyes. I mean, you see with the eyes, right? So you give more benefit, more merits to all other organs, in comparison when you just read with your eyes. And the sages plus it's better concentration. Like for me, that's for sure. So I try never to read just with the eyes. So when I just start reading with my eyes, sometimes it happens, just flying through the text, and I do not understand anything. That's the scary one. So I stop myself, rewind, and start speaking out loud. Okay. As the sages state, for they, the words of the Torah, are life of those who express them with their mouth. So it's Talmud Eruvin. So again, the words of the Torah are life to those who express them with their mouth. So right, so you're bringing to the world, bringing down to the world the words of the Torah. The ability to discern the true, is true regarding other aspects of the speech as well. Okay. So let's see. However, such sensitivity exceedingly weakened through the habitual involvement in idle conversation, and according little thought to what he's saying. So this idle conversation, meaning when you speak in live, right? I mean, on a telephone or even live in person. So you don't have much time to think about it, what to answer the person, right? And a person like most of us don't think very fast, right? And and it's not enough time to think something through, right? So we just answer because it's our turn to answer. Right, and many times a person would say something that is he should not have said. Right, that's the problem. Okay, and a person is not able to think because there is no training. But if somebody, for example, sends you a message and you have time to think it over, to mull it over, and that's totally different answer. The answer of absolutely different quality, right? Sometimes I need a few days, like when it's a difficult question. I cannot just answer. If you have to get rid of somebody like that telemarketer, I'm going to answer just to get rid of him. But if it's something important for that person, right? So I'll take my time, of course. However, when one studies the law of proper speech and the result become cognizant of his verbal expression, this sensitivity returns little by little until it attains its original strength. Right. So of course, I mean, HaShem gave us this pure neshama that just got soiled by us over the years, but it's still there. Like sometimes you have some, I don't know, what would be example? Some soil, maybe like a stove, right? You come to somebody's house, there is a stove, and you think it's 170 years old, and they say, no, it's from 3 years ago. It's from 3 years ago. It's really so much grease, and then you start cleaning, and then you see after a few hours, it's actually, it was a new stove. Okay. So we can stop here. Let me know if we have any questions. Just 1 second. I have to stop 1 second. Okay, so let's see if we have any questions on the topic. Okay, no question. So, okay, so we continue with our class Kosher Kitchen. We're on chapter number 7, and we started section number 3, and our topic is Bishul Akum. When Bishul Akum does not apply, when prohibition of food that cooked by a non-Jew does not apply. So I quickly list few things. I mean, there is no review coming anytime soon, so let me just say it quickly so we have continuation. Okay, so first scenario was when the Jew lights the fire, right? So according to Ashkenazic tradition, there is no problem. Second, a Jew stirs the pot, right? When it's on cooking, right? Next one, three, the Jew stoke the coals. Okay, number 4, the Jew adds something to intensity of the heat, right? As the Talmud says, a piece of wood, but okay, we added some heat or fan the heat, whatever we do. Number 5, the non-Jew lights the fire from the flame that the Jew kindled. So we said there is not everybody agrees with that. And then we said Sephardic tradition. And let me quickly repeat what the Sephardic tradition. According to Sephardic tradition, a Jew must place the food over the fire. Okay. If a Jew merely lit the fire and a non-Jew placed the food over the fire, certainly if Jew merely threw a piece of wood into the fire, the food considered Bishul Akum. So in this case, the Sephardic tradition is much, not much, but at least stricter. So a Jew must lit the fire and put the pot on the fire. Okay. In addition, according to Sephardic tradition, Jews merely stroke the coals of the food is considered Bishul Akum. So like just to add the fire, in simple words, it's not going to work for Sephardim. Thus, if non-Jew lit the fire and a Jew placed the food on the flame, the food is permitted according to both traditions. Right? So that's what common, meaning that the Jew puts the pot on the fire. So for sure it's cooking. Right? It makes sense. Just because somebody lit the fire does not mean that we're going to cook. Right? But when one puts a pot on the fire, so for sure it is cooking. If the Jew places the food on on the on until the burner, on unlit burner, right? And non-Jew lit the flame. The food is prohibited according to both traditions, right? So according to both traditions, first it must be fire, and then Jew puts the pot on a fire, or according to Ashkenazi tradition, even if he starts the fire. But to put the pot without the fire is not acceptable. If the Jew lit the flame and a non-Jew placed the food on the flame, according to Ashkenazi tradition, the food is permitted. According to Sephardic tradition, the food is prohibited. So that's the difference. I think that they're going to summarize, maybe even have some table. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we continue with the next exception. So number 7, Jewish participation later in the cooking process. All types of Jewish participation in the cooking process are effective if they are done before the food reaches the cooking level of Machal Ben Drusai. In this case, half C note. Okay, so just to remind, as we actually learned at the beginning of the book, so Machal Ben Drusai was this thief who would steal from people and run away. Everybody were against him, right? Tried to catch him, and he was able to cook food only to minimum, like barely edible, right? Barely edible, and because people would see the smoke probably, and they would pursue him, right? So according to one opinion, it's 1/3 of like total cooking process. For example, if total cooking process is 1 hour, so it's like 20 minutes. 20 minutes cooking process is considered to be like from the time of Yatzaledasbo, from the time what call Henry Quells, from that time, like how much is the cooking process? Because if you need something like to cook in the water, so until the water is that hot, it's like irrelevant. So this time is relevant. Okay, and so according to one opinion is 1/3, and according to another opinion is 1/2. Okay, so let's see. There is a difference of the opinion between Rashi, who consider Machal Ben Drusai the stage of 1/3 cooked. Okay, as we said. Rambam, who considered 1/2 cooked. Okay, so meaning right, Rambam. Regarding the lenient applications of this principle, when the Jew began the cooking, right? So meaning since we have strong opinions to 1/3, right, and 1/2, so we can be like. We can use this in our advantage in some sense, like in the case of necessity, of course. So one more time, regarding the lenient application of this principle, there is when a Jew began the cooking. Shulchan Aruch rules that we follow the opinion of Rashi, right? Jew began the cooking, so like okay, that 1/3 is considered Machal Ben Drusai. In this reverse application, there is when non-Jew cooked first, we are lenient, and to follow the opinion of Rambam that the food does not become Bishul Akum until the halfway cooked. So meaning in this commentary we say like when non-Jew starts and Jew continues cooking. So when like how much a Jew and a non-Jew are supposed to cook, like so it would be significant. So it's significant meaning edible in some. I mean edible under like very like pressing circumstances, right? So it's 1/3 or 1/2. Okay. So of course we're trying to find the leniency and allow this food to be eaten, but okay, according to Halachah, of course. However, if the food reaches the level of half cooked, there is a difference of opinion whether Jew's subsequent contribution to cook is irrelevant. So that's the point. If the non-Jew cooked half of it, like half time, as we said, from the time it reaches the Yatzel Desbo until it's completely cooked, right? So let's say it's again 1 hour. So if he cooked 30 minutes, so that's already the problem. It's in some sense it's ready to eat food. Of course, like people usually don't eat it, but halachically wise. So maybe like whatever he adds, of course. I mean, when I said if you cook 100%, it's going to be much tastier and much preferable. That's not a problem, right? But since it was edible before, so maybe it's Bishul Akum. Okay. So let's see. According to Sephardic tradition, the food is considered cooked by a non-Jew, and any additional cooking by a Jew is ineffective. Meaning, according to Sephardic tradition, so he's a little stricter, right? If non-Jew cooked halfway, and then Jew come late, I don't know, whatever, right? And now he wants to continue. It's useless. That's it. So it's this food is Bishul Akum. If the food is needed for Shabbos and Yom Tov, there is a considerable loss involved. Even Sephardic tradition is lenient, right? So since what does it mean? Initially they're strict, but in case of the great need and significant financial loss. So, for example, I do not know where I had a class today, earlier than my morning class. And one person said, I'm not sure what country he lives. I'm not sure, maybe, I thought in Singapore. That's what I thought, but that could be wrong. Right? And he said, of course, there is not too many Jews, not like there are Jews, there is a big synagogue, as he explained. But he said, what he says, the Shabbos meal there is $140. So you serious? Per person. It's very expensive. I mean, even for us, it's very, very, very expensive. I mean, $140 per person. I mean, and it's not like I don't know whatever it is. So it's very interesting, right? So in case if they charge for food so much money, I'm not sure. I asked him twice if he was correct. I said for the whole family, like maybe family of 7. I understand. No, he said per person. For me, it was very I could not believe it's too much, right? So in this case, yeah, the food is so expensive. So of course you can go. And there is a lenient opinion of one, right? The lenient opinion that you can rely upon, right? So that's it, right? So you can rely. According to Ashkenazic tradition, one may always be lenient and consider a Jewish contribution effective to remove the status of Bishul Akum. Right? So meaning if it's half cooked. Again, let's read again and understand. However, if the food reaches the level of half cooked, there is a difference of the opinion. So half cooked by non-Jew. Okay, that's the thing. There is a difference of the opinion whether Jew's consequent contribution to the cooking is irrelevant. Right? According to Sephardic tradition, the food is considered cooked by a non-Jew, because it was half cooked, and any additional cooking by a Jew is irrelevant. Okay, that's clear. If the food is needed for Shabbos, Yom Tov, or there is a considerable loss involved. Even Sephardic tradition is lenient, so meaning even in half cooked and Jew continue cooking. So that's after the fact, according to Sephardic tradition, the food is good, right? According to Ashkenazic tradition, one may always be lenient and consider any Jewish contribution effective to remove status of Bishul Akum. Meaning, the way I understand what it says here, even after half cooked. Okay. Of course, I mean, but we're talking about here after the fact. So there is a lechatchila, so to begin with, and there is bediavad. Bediavad is like after the all done with mistake. So are we force people to throw out the food, right? Or are they allowed to keep it or eat it? So that's the question. So after the fact. Number 8, if Jew began the cooking process In reverse case, if a Jew placed the pot to cook over the fire, and the food cooked kamachal ben drusai, it's like kamal ben drusai, and a non-Jew remove it from the fire and subsequently return it, or return off the flame and then relight it, the food is permitted. So it's very interesting case. So a Jew start cooking, and he cooked this machal ben drusai, this, let's say, in this case, if in case of the need, we can go by more lenient, right? Case meaning one third. If the food was cooked by 1/3, then non-Jew took it out, it's from the fire, and then returned to the fire, or they say even like Monchinus in case. So he actually relit the fire and put it back. So I guess maybe more on a different burner, right? So he this burner he needs for something else. So he like extinguish the flame, right? Relit in another burner and transfer this pot to another burner, and the juice is not there. So, but since it was cooked 1/3, so after the fact, there is no problem. Number 9, Jewish participation after the cooking process is complete. So up to in number 7, we said according to Ashkenazic tradition, if it's only half cooked, right, and he continues, Jew continues to help him until it's completely cooked, there is after the fact no problem. So now we're talking about different case, right? The different case when it was completely cooked. If the food was completely cooked by a non-Jew, it is considered Bishul Akum. Completely cooked is defined as a food that is fit to eat by average person without hesitation. Once the food reaches this stage, any additional cooking by a Jew is irrelevant and cannot undo the Bishul Akum prohibition. So meaning what? Maybe like some people like it more well done, right? More cooked, right? So I have few dishes like that. So my wife she likes certain way, but for me it's like it's not raw, but I feel like it is raw, like a little raw. Let's put it this way. It is not. It's not. But of course, I think the average would be, as my wife said, right? Maybe like most of the people, right? So even I would prefer that she would cook another 10 minutes, but it's already irrelevant. So meaning if non-Jew cooked to that degree, so meaning that it's completely Bishul Akum and you cannot fix it. Okay. So next one, number 10. When to rely upon this leniency. Okay, so as I've said many times, those are leniency. Bishul Akum is a serious prohibition. One should not arbitrarily choose to rely upon lenient opinions. Cooking in a Jewish home should be done solely by Jews. One who is in situation of difficulty should consult Rav. Okay, so I mean maybe single lady, like elderly lady, she cannot cook. Okay, but she can maybe come to the kitchen from time to time. Okay. Continue. Number 11. Rewarming food. Once the food is cooked by a Jew, it may be rewarmed by a non-Jew. As noted above, the food was completely cooked by a non-Jew. There remains Bishul Akum, even if subsequently worn by a Jew. Okay. So if it was cooked, if it was not Bishul Akum, right? Right. So it cannot be turned to the Bishul Akum because I mean that's after the fact. So in this case, for example, somebody have a non-Jewish help with a babysitter, so they can warm up the food in the microwave, like ready food. There is no problem. Right. Okay. So continue. So we continue with a summary of the practical Halachos Ashkenazic tradition. Okay, so let's see. So as we see here, in few instances, the Ashkenazic tradition would be a little more lenient than Sefer. It's not like such a huge difference, right? But still. So I mean, but it would be, I guess, more convenient, right? This approach. So let's see. Bishul Akum is prohibited only if non-Jew does the entire cooking process. If a Jew contributes to the cooking process, the food is not considered Bishul Akum. So that's the first very important statement. Again, it's Ashkenazic tradition. So as we see, it's very lenient. So if if a Jew participated in any step of the process until the food is completely cooked, according to the majority of the people, they would eat without any hesitation, as he said, right? Then there is no problem. So even if, like after the fact, if non-Jews start cooking and he cooked for like halfway, so a Jew can take over, like stir, some add pepper, salt, whatever, some ingredients, taste it, this and that. So that's it's still considered to be the non-Bishul Akum. Okay. Okay, so next one. Bishul Akum relates to the actual cooking process, not to the preparation. Thus, if non-Jew prepared chicken soup for cooking, there is a non-Jew wash the chicken, cut and peel vegetables, put everything into the pot, added spices, and put the pot on a stove, but did not turn on the flame. The food is not Bishul Akum, since a non-Jew did not turn on the flame under the pot. Okay, so let's read it again, and it's very, very important. So he said that preparation is not considered to be cooking; it's only preparation, right? Only preparation, right? So again, Bishul Akum relates to the actual cooking process, not to preparation. Thus, a non-Jew prepared chicken soup, right, for cooking. For example, wash the chicken, cut and peel the vegetables, put everything on the pot, added spices. I think, I'm not an expert, but I think we had spices later on, but okay. All right, so, but it doesn't matter. Maybe like some spices you can add in the beginning. I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, doesn't matter. So she prepared all everything, even put it on the stove, but did not turn the light, the flame. Jew comes, turn the flame, and that's it. So it's considered to be not considered to be Bishul Akum, because all of these steps were preparatory, and Bishul meant cooking. So when she cut the potatoes or carrots, it's not considered to be cooking, it's just preparation. So that's good. And I would say, just to go according to all of the opinion. So if you already lit the light, right, the fire, just pick up the pot and put it back. So in this case, it's going to be according to Sephardic opinion and Ashkenazic opinion, like according to all of them. So I would say, like, try if possible, do everything according to all, like the majority of the opinions. Especially in this case, unless it's like big pot, huge pot, unliftable, that's a different story. Okay. So continue. Next one. So we're going to according to Ashkenazic tradition. Next one. If Jew lit the fire, the food is not considered Bishul Akum. Even a non-Jew prepared and mixed all the ingredients. And according to Ashkenazic tradition, even non-Jew put the pot on the fire. So that's very, very, very important. So again, if Jew lit the fire, the food is not considered Bishul Akum. So even non-Jew did all of the preparation. Let's say this chicken, so like clean the chicken, this and that, right? And did the vegetables, did the spices, and there is no problem, right? Mix everything, right? No problem. Stir. Okay. Right. So even the non-Jew put it on the fire. So I would. So according, as we said, according to Sephardic tradition, the Jew must put it on the fire. So light the fire is irrelevant. Who? But I mean, according to both, to at least to Sephardic tradition. But who puts on a fire the pot? That's the most important part. Okay. So I guess like even if it's heavy pot or something, like it's, I mean, restaurant it's bigger pot. So of course, if you prepare all the ingredients, it would be too much. But even if you put the pot on the fire and added some water there, so like then let the other people continue cooking, that should be sufficient. Next one. If in the course of the cooking the Jew merely lifts the pot of the flame and then replaces it, or turns off the flame and turns it on again, the food is not considered to Bishul Akum. So exactly as we suggested, and the same halacha actually applies to sukkah, right? Where you build sukkah, the main part in the sukkah is the skach, the roof. So even non-Jews, for you build sukkah, you can always lift, put it back, like a little lift, right? Put it back, so it's like considered that you just replace the whole skach, right? And the same is here. So it's like a non-Jew lit the fire. He put it the pot on the fire. So if if Jew comes and he leave even the shadow of the fire, even if it's not, even the fire is lit, lift the pot or like slide it over to the side, right, and then put it back. No problem. It's not considered Bishul Akum. Okay. Or as we said, he can of course extinguish fire as well. But if he extinguishes the fire, why does he need to move the pot? I think it's one of the other or both of them. So one more time. If in the course of the cooking a Jew merely lifts the pot off the flame and then replace it, or turn off the flame and turns back on again, the food is not considered to be Bishul Akum. Okay, so I missed the word or. So that doesn't matter. So do one or another, of course. In my mind, it's easier to just to turn off the flame and then back on. But if it's the pot is not too heavy, or you could slide it to the side and then slide it back. So I would say go according to all of the opinions. So according to all of the opinions, even according to Sephardic opinion, that would be good. So I would say do that. Right. So continue. Next one. If the food was completely cooked by a non-Jew, it is considered Bishul Akum. So I mean, that's it. So completely cooked, as we said, most of the people say that's it. Any additional cooking by a Jew is irrelevant and cannot undo the Bishul Akum prohibition. Okay. So according to Ashkenazic tradition, as we said, in the case of like great necessity, a Jew may participate until it's completely cooked. Until, I don't know, completely, maybe even 5 minutes before it completely cooked. Okay. So continue, but okay. So, but according to Sephardic tradition, only with when it's like a great loss, and as we said, in that country, $140 per person, Shabbos meals. that's a huge amount of money, I think. Right, so it would be, of course, it's huge expense. I'm not sure what Jews doing there. I mean, but I don't know. I mean, of course, they're not working like picking up the garbage. They are probably in some technologies. I don't know, whatever. They have their businesses. I don't know what they do there. Very interesting. Bishul Akum is a serious prohibition. One should not arbitrarily choose to rely upon the lenient opinion, right? Cooking. So that's why I said, like, even there is such opinion, like all of these opinions are lenient, right? So try to go like according to all of the opinions, meaning light the stove and then put on the pot. So that's not a big deal. So again, like if you do it in the beginning, it is like it's not obligated that all of the ingredients be there, as we said, like it's relevant. So I have some water there, maybe salt, whatever, some pieces of vegetables, and they can add the rest without you. Right. So continue. Bishul Akum is serious prohibition. One should not arbitrarily choose to rely upon the lenient opinion. Cooking in a Jewish home should be done solely by Jews. Solely by Jews. The custom of some to permit the non-Jewish housekeeper to cook food if fraught with difficulty. See the chapter 11. One who is in situation difficulty should consult Rav. One more time. Cooking in a Jewish home should be done solely by Jews. Okay, we said that. The custom of some to permit a non-Jewish housekeeper to cook food is fraught with difficulties. I mean, the thing is, it's only a matter of time when she would want to cook her own food in your kitchen. So she cooks for you. Okay, so she would cook. She would cook her own food, right? So I mean, your food is too dull for you, for her to this, to that, and she wants her hot dogs, right? Her style, right? Why should she eat your food? And that's it, right? But if you would not allow her for her to use the kitchen, right? Only whatever is in the refrigerator. Of course, you have to be generous and say take whatever you want, eat as much as you want. But here's the only plate, so I would say put all of the plates on a countertop. Don't let your go through your cabinets. Not because you hide the gold there, but because this is the part this is the meat, and that's it. Here's 17 forks. She said, "Yeah, I need only one fork." I know, but just in case you need the second fork, so don't go to the cabinet with a daily fork. That's it. Okay. So next one, Sephardic tradition. All of the above follow Ashkenazic tradition. Sephardic tradition is stricter, right? As we said, according to Sephardic tradition, Jew must place the food on a fire. So that's main point of Sephardim should put on a fire, right? If Jew merely lit the fire and non-Jew placed the food over the fire, the food is considered Bishul Akum for Sephardim. So it's not like some people told me that the people like on the Sephardic kitchen, all of the Jews. It's not true. It's not true. But this step, at least this one, must be done by a Jew. So all of this help. Most of them non-Jews, they good cook. They cook. They work good. So let them cook. Okay. So next section is both traditions, and it says a simple practical difference between these traditions is as follows. Okay, here we go. If a non-Jew lit the flame and a Jew placed the food on the flame, if non-Jew lit the flame, food is permitted according to both traditions. Okay, so again, we said before. So if non-Jew lit the flame, and the Jew put the pot on a flame, it's good according to Ashkenazic and Sephardic. So just lighting the flame is a leniency. Okay, so main part I would say leniency that of course Ashkenazic tradition can rely upon, right? But with proper also to do this one, put in the pot. If the Jew places the food on unlit burner, and a non-Jew lit the flame, the food is prohibited according to both traditions. So meaning the Jew put all the ingredients and they say, okay, so let's start cooking half an hour from now, and he left, and non-Jew lit the fire. That's it. So you cannot help it unless the Jew comes back later on and he participates in cooking. That's a different story. But otherwise, it's absolutely forbidden. Okay. So again, Jew must put pot on the fire while it is lit, of course. If the Jew lit the flame and a non-Jew places the food on a flame, the food is permitted according to Ashkenazic tradition, prohibited to Sephardic tradition. I mean, I apologize, maybe we repeated 17 times the same thing, but I think it's very important to remember. Okay, so that's right. So if Jew lit the flame, non-Jew put the pot on the flame. According to Ashkenazi, there is no problem, and many people rely on this. According to Sephardic, there is a problem. So the Sephardic tradition, like in general, again, wants to put the pot on the flame. Once food is cooked by a Jew, it may be reworn by a non-Jew. So because again we said after cooking, there is no cooking after cooking. That's it. So it when it was cooked, it has a status like kosher food, non-Bishul Akum. That's it. You can do whatever you want. Conversely, if food was completely cooked by a non-Jew, it remained Bishul Akum even subsequently reworn by a Jew. Okay. So we finished that section. So let me see if we have any questions on the topic. So, okay, so we have one question. So it's a Shalom question about Machal Bedrusai. I wonder, what is the Yatzaledas Bo to calculate Machal Bedrusai? Do we use 110 on 170 degrees? So what is 110, 170 degrees? It's like this temperature. So it's a little machlokes, of course. Is there a difference between this case and Bishul Akum on Shabbos? Okay. So let's first answer the first question. Okay. Question about Machalas Bedrusai. So again, let's remind the situation. So we say Machalas Bedrusai, it's a time slot when the food should be on the fire, cooked, right? Partially, right? So as we say, there are two opinions. One is 1/3, and one is half cooked. So half cooked meaning if the whole cooking process from the time the content is hot enough, it takes 1 hour. So half cooked, according to the Bedrusai, it's like what was it? Rambam. I think Rambam said half cooked, and Rashi Zatzal says 1/3 cooked, right? But now like a second element that comes in is like what temperature is it when the hand recoils, right? So there are two opinions, 110 and 160. So 170. So was it 170? Oh, I mean, I think it's rounded, but okay, let's say 170, right? So 170, you see, it's a lenient opinion, right? And I would say that depends on the situation, right? So we can go if needed by lenient opinion, right? So of course, all to begin with, we have to go by stricter opinion, but in case of the need, we can go by lenient opinion. Okay, so what is I think Rabbi Moshe Feinstein said that it's 170. I think, right? Because 110 is very strict. Okay, very strict, but in some cases we would use 110, of course. So continue. So our question about completely cooked for steak. If medium well, consider it completely cooked. I'm not an expert in the steaks, but that's why I cannot tell you exactly, but whatever majority of the people say it is cooked, it is cooked. So I remember many years ago, we were in somebody's house, and this guy was into steaks, and he served steaks. And I cut a piece, for me, I want to spit it out. For me, it was raw meat, I would not touch it, right? But my wife likes it, everybody enjoyed it, but for me, I cannot eat this meat. So I don't remember what they call it, what degree they call it, but for me it's completely, not completely, but I say thank you very much. So maybe next time, right? I would not eat it. So whatever majority of the people, so I'm telling you the general formula. Well, formula, whatever majority of the people would say it is cooked. So it is cooked. So not everybody like raw or medium raw. I'm not sure what is it with a steak. Whatever is it. Right. You're welcome. So let's see, what time is it? I think we stop here because we finished that section. And next section is a non-Jew who cooks in a Jewish home. So of course, as we said, you have to be careful, but look, I mean, it's easier to say to be careful, and it's better like this, but there are different circumstances and that we cannot control. So let's stop here. Okay, go to questions. Any questions, HaShem? Okay, so first question. For Rav, we see that Korach was sent straight to Gehinnom after what he did. In the same vein, based on a seance of uncle's head, okay, we can also see that Yoshke is in Gehinnom as well. Yet, conversely, Esau, his previous reincarnation, wasn't sent to Gehinnom despite of being wicked his whole life. I'm not sure why we say that. I never, me personally, I never heard that Esau is not in Gehinnom. Okay. Okay. Maybe see from this that Mahti Harabim, those who cause the masses to sin, are sent straight to Gehinnom without any chance to reincarnate. Whether very wicked people, whereas the very wicked people still get a chance to reincarnate so long as they don't have the masses to sin. Don't cause the masses to sin. Toda. Okay, let me read again. I think we're going to split this question, so it's a very interesting question. So it's okay. So again, you see that Korach was sent straight to Gehinnom after what he did. So he rebelled against Moshe, and he and his household was sent. So in Rashi there said, look how dangerous this is. This machlok is not only him, right? Little baby, suckling baby. What did the baby do? 3 months. What did he do? Right? Was he involved? No, he was not involved. But severity of the sin of this father, stupid father, so big that even this baby were punished, and that's why we have to think about it. It's not only about us, about ego. So other people, our family can suffer. So it's also must be taken into consideration. Right. In the same way, based on seance of uncle's head, in the seance of uncle's head, he called 3 specific people. Does not mean that the Esau is not in Gehinnom, right? Okay, so that's my understanding. Okay, so uncle's head. Also, that's Yoshke. Yoshke was close to his generation, so that's why he called him. Right, yet conversely, Esau has a previous reincarnation, wasn't sent to Gehinnom despite the being wicked all his life. Okay. Reincarnation. So the proof that Esau was not in reincarnation, that he was sent reincarnated as a Yoshke. Maybe part of his soul. I don't know. I mean, maybe see from this that Mahti Arabim, those who cause masses to sin, are sent straight to Gehinnom without a chance to reincarnate. So I mean, to comment on this, I would say that's very legitimate point. Why is that? Because it would be not right that people who these Mahti Arabim led to sin, they're going to go to Gehinnom because of them. And this guy, they did teshuva, and now he's good. Hello, oh, you follow me? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You follow me? You see, but you see, you shouldn't have to teshuva with me. Oh, I forgot to tell you about teshuva. Yeah, only told you about the sins. I mean, it does not look very very fair. First, the guy, this Esau or this Machtia Rabim sent him to Gehinnom, and he did his teshuvah. So it's not so simple. So HaShem would not allow such a person to do teshuvah so easily. Of course, he has a free choice, but it would not be so easy. Because why? Because it would not be fair for other people, right? So like teshuvah would not be. His teshuvah would not be 100% accepted until he undo whatever was done. And what was done? Other people went out of the derech. That's the issue, right? So, but yeah. So when person just sinned against HaShem, right? Not on a big scale. So he might get the chance to reincarnation, right? So there's a good point in here. Okay, so next question. Does the need God, the Santa is selling to people, perhaps have the thing in common as golden calf? It seems kosher, the calf is kosher animal, okay. It is very appealing to the audience, made of gold. It's needy. The calves can survive on their own. It's needy, okay. Yet the man-made and supported by ignorant Jews who listen to heresy, the earrings. Heresy, the earrings. I'm not sure, and. Who listen to heresy, the earrings, and only those who behave like Levites, seriously delve into the Torah, are able to see the difference between this fake God and the real one. Todah. Okay, so let's try to understand this question. So again, does God need? That's needy God. Sorry, the Santa selling. To people perhaps have some common with golden calf. So people who say that God needs you, right? That's why He created you. Otherwise, why would He create you? So now, since He created, He actually must support you, right? Like you have employees, so you have to give them place to work. You have to give them a computer, like a uniform. You have to feed them if they're going to be away from home, right? It's only like a soldiers, right? So if you need soldiers, so you need to provide for them. You can provide water, toilet tissues, like soap, everything, right? So in some sense, they say that. Maybe HaShem is like that, right? So that's what these people say. Okay, right. So he trying to draw the parallel between this saying that needy God with the golden calf. Okay, so what is the parallel? It seems kosher. It seems kosher. So like from outside, it seems kosher, meaning the calf is a kosher animal. It's very appealing, so looks nice to the audience. Meaning it's gold. So it's gold and it's kosher. Okay. It's needy. Calves cannot survive on their own. So calf cannot survive by on their own. I mean, so somebody needs to feed the calf. It's too young. Okay, continue. Yet it's man-made and supported by ignorant Jews. Okay, I mean it's not man-made. HaShem made it, but okay. So I mean, through the magic. Okay, but okay, it doesn't matter. Jews who listen to heresy, the earrings. I'm not sure. And only those who behave like Levites, seriously delving in the Torah, able to differentiate between the good, the fake God, and the real one to that. I mean, I lost a parallel with this Santa guy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to answer because it's. I'm not sure. Okay, so continue. Go there have a question about Avodah Zarah. Okay, is hypothetically someone in a production of any commercial good dedicated the good to idol without someone's knowing. Would it be forbidden? For example, if there is a local farm that chops trees, that they were worship, then selling as it is a paper, but doing it without anyone else knowing, is it a concern? Or using cow's hide that someone worships? Very good question. So let's do from the beginning. Sorry. Hypothetically, someone is a production of or any commercial good, dedicated the good to the idol without someone knowing. Dedicated the good to an idol without someone knowing. Okay, I don't know. Would it be forbidden? For example, so let's go by example. There is a local farm that chops trees that they worship, and then selling as a paper. So in this case, I like this example. So example is very clear. So an answer is also very clear. So when they chop the tree, these people show that even though they worship this tree at some time in the past, so when they chop the tree, they show we don't no longer believe that this is God. That's it. Simple, straightforward. Right? So they denigrated this idol, and that's it. There is no problem with deriving any benefit from this paper, and even from this tree. And as soon as they say it's garbage, that's it. Paper, but without anyone else knowing. So again, there is no problem. Is it a concern? There is no concern. Or using cow's hide that someone worships. So as soon as this guy kill the cow, he doesn't he showed that it's not a god. So if it would be God, he would not kill it. Like in India, right? In India, so they use the cow until it can give the milk, but when it gets old, they don't eat the cow. So just let it go, because cow is a god for them, one of the gods, right? So that's what you do with gods. I think if it would die, they would bury it, or so. I don't know what they do, but I guess they bury it. You understand? So, but no, nobody is going to kill it and skin this holy cow. Okay, so the answer to this second question, again, there is no problem. Okay, good question. Next one, how to help children who lack sensitivity toward others around the age of 6. That's it's hard when they're 6 years old. They the mind is set a lot. So you try to talk to them again and again and again, the same stuff. I try to capture their attention, and you would be surprised even to talk to adults like the same thing many times. So hopefully it's going to help. Right? Give examples, give them some kinds of prizes, give them compliments, and then they on subconscious level they would want to do that, to be sensitive and share, and not to scream at other people, at other kids, not to fight with them. Yeah. Next one, is if when the person started seriously delving into Torah, he was capable of studying several hours in a row, and now he is struggling to focus even an hour without getting constantly distracted. Is this indication of the spiritual growth, which also included in the growth of his Yetzer Hara? Or does it chas v'shalom means a person doing something wrong? Toda. Okay, so it's a very good question. So we're going to split it in two halves, in parts, because it's I would say it depends. So let's read again, and we're going to explain. If when a person started seriously delving into Torah, he is capable of studying several hours in a row, and now he's struggling to focus on even 1 hour without getting constantly distracted. So it's happened to reported by all my students, everybody. So when a person is excited, and that's we have to understand that's how Yetzer Hara works, right? So it cannot resist always, because resist always it's too simple. So it let it go. So it's like steps back, right? Person goes into the snare in some sense, and person is okay studying 6-7 hours. I don't know how How many hours people start? A lot. Let's say even many. Let's say 3 hours non-stop, and person is gross. Oh, I forgot to eat. Whoa! From this morning. Wow, it's 2 p.m. Let's say in a Sunday, they did not work, right? So it's 2 p.m. at night. I did not eat from the morning. Why? Because the person was engrossed in the Torah. It's amazing, right? Did not check his phone, his emails, this and that. Everything is good, right? So Eitzachara, but let it go, like disappear. So like a person would get comfortable, and person would think of himself like on some high level, but to be on a high level or any level, forget about any level, not high but any level, you have to be consistent. Consistency is a key. So it's better to do like half an hour, not 3 hours, half an hour, but every day. In the morning, at night, half an hour. Yeah, but I can do 3 hours. Okay, 3 hours, we're going to get to 3 hours. But do half an hour at the same time. So, but, and in some sense, as our sages teach us, and we learn in Rabbi Dessler, Zatzal Michtav Meliyahu, so you have to die for the whole world. Right? That's what our sages of Musar say. You have to die. So, but if somebody calls, so you're dead. So how can you answer the phone if you're dead? Right? So to the whole world, you're dead, but for to the Torah you're alive. So disconnect completely, and this and no matter what happened, you're not you don't get disturbed, right? That is half an hour, 15 minutes, whatever you start. So don't go 3 hours, 4 hours. Like it's unfortunately I saw many people fail and do from many hours to zero, like this, times like this, unfortunately. But if a person goes like 15 minutes, half an hour. So I prefer half an hour. 15 minutes it's not long time, but I mean, if a person cannot concentrate, maybe 15 minutes is better than nothing. But then this half an hour, do a few months, 3 months, without failing, right? No matter what. And then of course, the Yitzhak would do like this. A person, if somebody is going to call you, and person who you respect, and he said, please come, bar mitzvah, my son, please come, is bar mitzvah, I don't know, some celebration of my daughter, like we're getting married, we're getting this, I'm getting rewarded, I get sim hashas, and I want to see you and your family, and they're going to, guess what, they're going to plan exactly all this, are going to be explained exactly, and at the time of your started, and you say no, but please, I took upon myself, but they say no, but one time. So you know that Satan is talking, right? The nice people, but Satan is talking to. Like if you start discussing the time of your learning, like it's optional to cancel it, that's it, you're done. So it's only a matter of time, people going down, guaranteed. But if you like stronger as a steel wall, as like I don't know, like cement wall, you say okay. So it's going to be earthquake at this time. Yeah, very good. But I'm studying. But what is going to be no light? So I prepared 17 candles. That's enough for me. You understand? So that when you go like that, so like it's much more important than go many hours. Again, I saw many people, and unfortunately, I talk to them. They think that I'm holding people back. Like I love people to advance, like not to fail, but it's only a matter of time. So and Satan comes, like they say, look, you're a loser. Yeah, you're a complete loser. You did not know. Yeah, you remember the 7 hours straight that you learned. You listen to the classes, and you could not get enough, one after another, another. Like now, you hardly listen to 3 minutes, right? So when a person has this difficulty, so what does it mean? It means that they have to restrict, right? And forget about 3 hours. Start with half an hour, right? But continue no matter what. And remember that Yitzhak is going to try to create all the barriers, all the obstacles, send all the people, guaranteed. Okay, so let's do the next question. Next question is Shalom Kol Rav. Question about Halachos of Brachas. When making Ala Mechia during Bein Hashem Ashos and the night of Rosh Chodesh. Oh, today is Rosh Chodesh. Okay, apologize. Today is Rosh Chodesh. I forgot. And today we should learn in a Leilu Nishmas. So my great uncle Shmuel ben Meir. That's a big righteous person. I mean, for us, in our family, he was my grandfather passed away when he was almost the same age as I am now, which is young, very young, right? Right, and he was the head of the family, like many brothers, 7 brothers and sisters, eight brothers and sisters, and he was like head of the family. All right, so again. So if we in a question about Halachos Bras, when making Alamihia we make after, let's say we ate the cookies, right? During Bein Hashemashos, meaning it's already after this sunset, and the night of Rosh Chodesh. Okay, do we need to add additional part of Rosh Chodesh in the bracha? So it's a very good question. So if you think it's a simple question, it's not. So I would say if person finished eating before the sunset, don't say it. Don't add Rosh Chodesh. But if you're in doubt, so that's very simple fix. Eat 1 kizayis, like to 29 grams, 1 ounce, right? After the sunset, and that's it. Then according to most of the opinion, you would need to say the blessing. So it depends when you finish eating, not the other things. Okay, but if you same with same with a blessing with Birchas Hamazon when Shabbos coincides with Rosh Chodesh. Not Shabbos. So when Sunday is Rosh Chodesh. So and you were eating like Suda Shlishi, the 3rd meal, and you finish very late. So after the nightfall. Right, so do you say it is Rosh Chodesh, or do you say it is Shabbos? But cannot be both, because Shabbos is Shabbos, right? That's when you ate the meal, and Rosh Chodesh is the next day. So like if you look at the clock would tell you it's Rosh Chodesh, but you started meal, and all of the meal you ate before the nightfall, right? So you cannot say both of them. So it depends. If you finish everything before the sunset and you were just bread, I'm talking about bread, right? And you were just sitting around singing songs and drinking grape juice or something. So that's one story. So you would not say the insertion on Rosh Chodesh. You only say it's safe for Shabbos. But if you ate extra like after the nightfall, like for sure. So if you ate after the nightfall, so that's when you say Rosh Chodesh and no longer Shabbos. It cannot be both. Okay. Okay, so we answered that question. Shalom Kadrav, question about mitzvahs for women. Since we know that each mitzvah is correspond to a specific part of the soul, and through the performance of the mitzvah, we are perfecting our soul. Given women are not obligated in time-bound mitzvahs, correct, which men are obligated to, can we infer that there is less ways a woman can perfect her soul? That's a very good question. Does it mean that she has less tikkun and less things to fix? Or does it mean that she is not able to reach the higher level of perfection? It's a very deep question. So let's read one more time and we're going to split it. Again, question about the mitzvahs for women. Since we know that each mitzvah is correspond to a specific part of the soul. So what does it mean? So it says that each mitzvah is correspond to a specific part of, it says soul, but I think the person meant the body, so physical body. So we have 630 mitzvahs and we have 248 positive, 365 negative. So it's a correspond to the blood vessels and sinews in a person's body, right? And also our sages explain it's corresponds to different organs. So and each mitzvah is correspond to different organs. So right. So when person does a mitzvah, so it nourishes that organ, And in our sages, in early generation, they could tell you, like if you have some like physical malady, so they would look at your eyes or something, like they would ask you a question, and through Ruach HaKodesh, right, they would see like why you have this physical malady, right? They would connect it to the lacking in spiritual observance of some mitzvah, because there was no connection. So today we do not know exact connection. I mean, if like there is some straightforward connection when somebody have a pain in the leg, right? So maybe like do self-accounting. Maybe you are going to the wrong places, right? And person has like a neck issue, like maybe you are turning the neck to the wrong places. I don't know, right? To see things that you were not supposed to see, and stuff like that. Hence, maybe you took something that does not belong to you. Okay. So okay, so that's that. Continue. And through a performance of mitzvah, we can perfect our soul, right? So we can. I mean, I connect to the body, but this mitzvah connects to the soul. I think mitzvah connects to the soul in general. I mean, there are only 5 parts to the soul. To like, okay. Okay. And through the performance of mitzvah, we are perfecting our soul. Okay. So, given a woman is not obligated to the time-bound mitzvahs, which a man obligated, can we infer that there is a less way for a woman to perfect her soul? No. So, for men, observing the whole Torah is 613 mitzvahs, right? And for a woman, observing to the whole Torah, whatever she's obligated to. So for her whole, meaning whatever she has obligated. I'm not sure how many mitzvahs, like all of the positive, all of the negative. So for sure, 365 for sure, and plus positive. I'm just throwing out the number. Let's say another 100. Let's say, I don't know. I'm just saying, right? So if she observed those, it's like she observed everything, right? Because she is excluded from others, right? So that's enough to refine the soul. And today, for example, some mitzvah that men cannot do. What is the mitzvah? To bring sacrifices, right? So, but he can still like fulfill this mitzvah. How? To learn about sacrifice. Every morning, a man reads about sacrifices, karbonos in a siddur, right? And plus there is the Mishnah, and I'm going with somebody of the Mishnah, and it's like pulling your veins. Like it's so it's so many details. I mean, when we start with application of blood, so I got the idea, and it was pretty interesting. But then all of the details and like this and like that, and it's valid, not valid. It's very difficult. But okay, we tried. So in some sense, like in Shemaim, it's considered to us like we bring carbonos. You understand? And whatever we learn, for example, about there are some mitzvahs, positive mitzvah. About the concern Kohen Gadol, right? So he has to marry a virgin, for example. So I'm not Kohen Gadol, I'm nobody, right? So but me learning about details of the mitzvah, even in the commentary of Rashi, like from the Chumash. So I learned this, so it's considered as I learned the mitzvah, and it's considered as I fulfill the mitzvah on a level that I can. I'm not Kohen Gadol. There is no Beis Hamikdash. Okay, so it's considered, and then, and in some sense, to a woman, whatever she does, it's considered as she does everything. You understand? So there is no less ways for a woman to do tikkun, right? So some things that she's not obligated, so that's it. It's like I don't know, you have like a computer, like a system administrator, and there is a leak in the bathroom. Okay, is he obligated? No. If it's a memory leak in some problem with the server, yeah, he's responsible. But leak in the bathroom, he's not. Like, is it in the same company? Yeah. Does he use the bathroom? 100%. But is his fault? No. Is he going to fix it? Most likely no. You understand? So everybody is responsible for their things, and the plumber comes, he fixes the leak in the bathroom. It's considered like he did something for the company, and this system administrator did something for the company. There is no like two separate things, right? He did his role, and the other guy play his role. So same is with the women. So they absorb whatever they can, and that's enough to perfect their soul. And plus, as we said, for women it's much easier to go in a higher spiritual realm than for men. For men, it's much harder, much harder. I mean, to get refined, because I don't know why. I mean, I guess I know why. HaShem created man is like a little curse, right? And some men do not want to refine. They want to be cool, like to talk to other people like they're like macho or something. That's the issue. Continue. Does it mean that she's less tikkun? Okay, we said no. She does not have, or does it mean that she is not able to reach the higher level of perfection? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Right? As Hashem said to Abraham, listen to your wife. Right? Because she's more prophetess than you. Okay. Completely. Okay. So next question. So a question about Avodah Zarah. We learn that Hashem will eventually destroy all the fake gods and idols when Mashiach comes. Okay. I wonder how does this apply to a situation when some people worship tzaddikim. In this case, it's a very good question. So if they truly bow to this tzaddik and stuff like that, they prescribe some power to him. That's a big problem. So it's 100% Avodah Zarah. So this idol would be destroyed, like the things that they bow to. Is honor of the tzaddik would be restored? I'm not sure. Because he did in some cases they did something that like to convey the idea they deities, and that's what Rav Shach was fighting tooth and nails when the Lubavitcher Zatzal was alive. So he said that he just smiles. He keeps quiet and smiles, and give some semi-verses. And as we saw in the guy, this video that we made about Bulachnik guy. So he said, what else do you think he meant? Right? He's Mashiach. He did not finish the sentence. He said Mashiach is coming. I don't remember exactly the verse, but he said he said Mashiach who? He's talking about himself. Right? And people knew that they suspected that he was talking about himself, and they did not. He did not say opposite. So I don't know. It's of course I'm not I just see what's going on now. Right? On one of our channel, I know I said it not. We're losing people dropping. We're not gaining people, dropping intense. For sure. Because of just a few days ago we released this video about Meredith Friedman, right? The old one. We're a little behind, but Baruch Hashem. So they don't like it very much. Okay. So continue. Next one. Shalom, Rav, question about Bris and women. Okay. Learn that one of the reasons that HaShem does not create man with the Bris Milah is wanting man to be a partner in creation. I wonder why women are not created in a similar way, that they need some physical improvement the covenant of the body. So that's exactly the answer is in the question. So let's do it from the beginning and we explain. Question about the women. We learned that the reason that Hashem does not create man with a Bris Milah, and not only that. Bris Milah is one example. Another example is a famous example about bread. Right? So bread is a staple food, right? The main food. Until recently, in olden days, you read old books where they add the bread, right? Maybe dipped in in olive oil if they well-to-do people. If not, maybe a few fruits in the winter, maybe some olives and this and that, and cheese, and that's it. The food supply was very, very simple. Today, people have so many choices that it's something crazy. Right? So and in order to do bread, if you think about it, it's so much work. So all other foods are simple, right? Fruits you can eat, wash it of course, and you can eat it. vegetables, some potatoes, some like you have to cook. Also, like to peel potatoes or cook with the peels. There is a simple processing, right? Meat also, you kill like very fast, like the food is available. But to bread, like you have to you have to plow, and then you have to seed this and that, and you have to harvest and you have to grind. It's like 10 steps, 10 steps in order to make bread. You understand? It's like very hard. And why Hashem created a person this attachment to bread? If it's so hard to do, like maybe some simple foods, right? It's very good question, and Talmud explains. So when somebody is a partner with Hashem, same idea, meaning what? He's a partner, he invests a lot. Partner that you invest something from yourself, a lot of sweat and tears, right? And blood, sweat and tears into the production of bread. So it's very dear to you, right? So you would treat the food with much more respect, right? And that's same everywhere. So Hashem, for example, another partnership is when Hashem give us Torah, but it's not finished. It's like only the ideas, but not ideas, only the laws, how to derive, and that's it. So and he gave it to the sages, and sages obligation of the sages to derive the laws. You understand? So why to just tell us what to do? Why they have to derive? Why Abai said that, Rav said that, Rav Yochanan on one side, Reish Lakish always opposing him, like just tell me what to do. Forget about all of this machlokes going back and forth, right? So, but it says when you get involved, figuring out the law, this law it becomes part of you. It's not something foreign that was forced on you, right? It's part of you that you developed it. And one of the ideas that we learned today in one of my classes, so we said that the sages in Israel, in the time of Talmud, when they create some edict, whatever is it, so they would not give explanation for the whole year, right? So it's very interesting. For the whole year, and only after the year passes and people observe, so they give the reason, and they explain why. Because if they give the explanation, some people say, "Oh, that's the reason." Who needs that? It's not right. So everybody like big Talmidei Chachamim, they know it's right or left, or they know anything, right? So and people would not treat it seriously, and they would not observe the edict. But if they say, "Oh, there is edict, that's what our sages say," and what is the explanation? Oh, no explanation, meaning that they thought out all of the details we're going to observe. Later on, because people do not know what is good for the bad. Later on, after the year passed, the sages would announce that was the reason we made this decree. Okay, so that's again making them part of the covenant, like a partner. That partner meaning that you with a partner you'll be much closer than with your employee or your employer, right? So that's the thing. So the reason Hashem does not create Bris Milah, so for men, first of all we have to remember or second was the woman was created as Ezer Kenegdo, right? Meaning a helper to a man. Right, so and he created her perfectly, nothing to add, nothing to remove, and that's it. So, but man needs to open the spirituality. So, woman is already spiritual, but men they have to. For men, he has to open this spiritual channel, right? And spiritual channel in the most physical place. So, for other people, it's disgusting. Right, but for Jews, it's the highest of the spirituality and Kiddusha, right, holiness. Okay. Right, so again, so that's why women do not need, men need very much. Right, and we know somebody who does not have circumcision, a man does not have circumcision, so they're spiritually down. So he can be like a great mathematician and physicists, chemists, all of this big professors, but in Torah would be stupid as a stupid can be. And I know people like that. And, the guy is saying, "No, what are you talking about? I'm 43 years old. I'm going to do surgery." What is the problem? People do surgeries, right? Much more serious than this. Sorry, I mean, Chas v'shalom, like, what do you think twice if doctor tells you, look, you have this growth, I'm not sure if it's good, not good, and unless we remove it so we can send it to the lab, would you agree for us to remove it? He said, guys, of course remove it. What are you talking about? Why are you asking me these silly questions? Right? So it's suddenly like, when it's something like in his mind, his little mind, it is important, so he would do it. But this Bris Milah, he's not. And guess what? After 15 minutes of class, a person had fallen asleep. Fortunately, right? So I mean, why? Because one of the reasons is right, a lack of Bris Milah. So meaning spirituality is lacking. So okay, so let's do the next question. Next question. Shonka, I have a question about covenants with HaShem. Okay. Learn that the man always have to two covenants with him every day, right? And the covenants are holy and special connection to HaShem. Besides Shabbos, the two covenants are not applicable to women. Okay. To women. I wonder why this is the case. Can a woman connect to HaShem through the other mitzvah that has the same level of the sanctity of these mitzvahs? Okay, so it's a very good question. So I know the book that has this question, that answers, and Beezrat HaShem. So I can only guess. So I was planning, since the question was asked, that's the only reason I want to say it. So after we finish this Sefer Chafetz Chaim, so I'm planning the book, and there is like Jewish wisdoms. So they would get one idea. The reason I like this book, because you can split in different paragraphs, like in 5 minutes class, 10 minutes class. That's what I want to do. Like we would do after we finish Sefer Chafetz Chaim. And he covers all of these ideas, right? And including this one. So let's try to answer. We learned that the men always have two covenants, right? Two covenants. So what is it? Two covenants. Two covenants is circumcision and tefillin. So meaning there is there are always two covenants, two witnesses, right? In some sense, two witnesses that come to the court of heaven and testify that he's observing the covenants. Meaning during the week, circumcision and tefillin, right? And if he does not put tefillin, there is a huge problem, right? In the spiritual standing. And on Shabbos, or he does not observe Shabbos. On Shabbos we don't put tefillin. On Yom Tov we don't put tefillin. Okay, so there are two covenants always. And the covenants of holy special connection with HaShem. There are also other things I would not remember from the top of my head, but a few other things that also called covenants. So for example, this Bris Milah, it's only Bris Milah, but it's actually like offshoots of that. It's actually laws of morality, I think. So a woman, even without even having Bris Milah, so the other things still apply to her. So the laws of morality for sure apply to her. Tznius and others, right? Besides Shabbos, other two covenants applicable to women. Wonder why is this case? So I mean, if HaShem that does not need, I mean. The problem is if you are being called to the court and somebody have to testify on your behalf. There is no problem if you don't need to go to the court, and you don't need the witnesses that you're kosher, that you're innocent. Maybe it's my personal take, right? But right, so HaShem has different different judging system for men and for women. So about men, like some kids, for example, you have to always call them, where are you now? Right? Are you going home? Right. You sure? Where are you now? No, I went to my friend's house. Like, what do you mean you went to your friend's house? I told you 7 times, just go from school, just go. Oh yeah, I'm going. Let me just eat. I told you not to eat there. So some kids, like some adults also, for sure, you have to supervise them. Yeah, like every half an hour. Like, what are you doing now? Otherwise, the people will get in trouble. So maybe there is a point that. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, so maybe there is a point. So they need constant supervision, right, and constant things in court, right? But women do not. It's one of my answers. But that book actually, like along with somebody, like when I'm resting, so somebody just reads it. It's very interesting. So it covers many ideas, and I think we can split it also in like 5 or 10 minute sessions. Okay, so next one. Shalom, question about women. Since women are created as a helper against him, right? I wonder if every woman created to help a specific man, like the tailored for him, right? If she's created in general to help the future husband, regardless of who she ends up marrying. I think so. Okay, so let's read one more time. It's a very interesting question. Since the woman are created a helper against him, so and the job of the woman is to be a helper or against him. So meaning she must supervise her husband, right? If he's going to the wrong direction, spiritual, he involved with the wrong people. It's her obligation. It's not only a nice thing to do. It's her obligation to stop him and to reprove him. Nicely, I guess, nicely, with respect, but to show that maybe, like, make him question himself, right? Question the situation. Okay. So is it for specific men? I don't think so. I mean, if a helper like with whatever you need helper, like the way I see it, like if we do a renovation in the house. So first we have to like put sheetrock. So I did a helper for sheetrock. Then I need to do this painting job. I don't need 17 wives as helpers. So one helper depends on a need. So for example, a person starts with as a low life. Let's say hopefully she's not going to get someone, but let's say, and she's taking care of him, like raises him up. So she always like changing the role. I mean the role is the same helper but in different areas. Right? So it's not like like we are static, and he needs to help to go from his bed to the bathroom. Okay, so it's not. So it's help in all of the areas. So and all of the humans are the same. It's like similar, right? And we need we have one big goal for the whole humanity. So meaning, I'm trying to say that she was not created like to be attached to to be helper of specific man. Whoever she marries, get married. So she must help that person. Okay. So and help sometimes like some people need to be led. Right. So and me personally, I know some people. So they are men, but they cannot make the decision, right? And and sometimes I talk to these people, and I think to myself like, poor wife, like how can she live with a person like that? He cannot make a decision. I do not know. Maybe this, maybe that. Like as a Shlomo HaMelech, Zatzal Alav Shalom says in his what is it, the Proverbs, right? So he said about lazy men. He said they say, why don't you go to study from this teacher? He said, no, I cannot go. Like he is very far away. There is a river. How can I cross the river? I'm going to drown. And plus there is a lion on the road. They're going to eat him. It's too much. And then they say, yeah, okay, this the Talmid Chacham, he actually in your town, like not too far from you, a few blocks. Why don't you go learn the Torah? No, he said, no, it's so dangerous. There's probably a lion in the road, and there's a people they're going to beat me up. All these things, and they say later on, I'm sure in the parable, like the guy, this rabbi is actually in your living room. Why don't you come from your bedroom? He said, no, I'm tired. Maybe later. And plus, I'm not sure if the door is going to open. Maybe not. Maybe it's like all these things. Do you understand? So the person like that, it's almost mission impossible. So I was like, I'm thinking like a few people. So I have no idea how these wives cope with them. I have no idea. So these guys need a leader. So she like the helper, meaning the helper who is going to lead them, who is going to tell them what to do. Yeah, you put in on this short, these socks, and you go to work. You understand? You go to work now. Otherwise, you're going to be late. Yeah, no, go now. So that's also a helper. Understand? So helper is a pretty like a wide term. Okay. So let's I guess let's do a little. So we continue with laws of Yichud, and big topic is a kinoi, right? So and a kinoi, we finished kinoi. No, we're still in this kinoi. So kinoi is, as we said, it's not a good idea, but self-imposed restriction of yichud, right? So I mean, the husband said, "I don't want you to be secluded with your father, with your brother." So I mean, it's self-imposed, meaning it's not forbidden by the Torah or by the rabbis. Okay. So the next one, A, and it says, the gravity of yichud seclusion after the husband declaration. So meaning, I mean, in olden times it was easy to cancel. Now this husband, like he said, don't do it. And if he said the correct formula, so she must abide by that. So right, and even with her son, that's right. So again, the gravity of yichud seclusion after the husband declaration. The husband's kinoi declaration to his wife imposes extreme added restrictions upon her regarding any yichud seclusion, meaning with people that she was allowed to seclude before. It halachically prohibits any manner of seclusion with a specified man, even forms of yichud that are ordinarily permitted. Okay, so C below C. Okay, we're going to get to C. Okay, the Keynote Declaration, also has potential to bring about very severe, even catastrophic consequences. So, as we said last time, don't do it, but there is such an option. Okay, so this husband of ours, he's playing with fire basically. Okay, so for example, if woman under the husband kino restriction was to become secluded with even inadvertently with a man that was specified in the kino declaration with her father, right? She would no longer be permitted to live with her husband. See paragraph below. That's how strict it is. And a happy marriage could end, chas v'shalom, in needless divorce. So he made this declaration, like nobody asked him to, right? There, like, okay, and she violated this declaration, as a book say, even inadvertently. So she went to visit her parents, right? And mother said, "Oh, I forgot completely. I have to go to the store. I have to pick up this and that. Sorry," and she left. And the daughter, like let's say, she went to study there, right? And it's very loud in school. So my nephew, for example, right? My nephew comes to my mother to study, to like when he has a conference call, the kids are screaming and yelling, right? So he needs a peace and quiet. So he would go to my mother to study, right? It's possible. So this woman went to like, or he had a conference call, or he had like exam, like whatever, on a license, whatever, like. He needed peace and quiet, so he could not do it from home. So he would come to my mother's house. That's very interesting, right? And so now the same could be in the case of this woman. So she was there to like working from home, from her parents' house for whatever reason, right? So mother left, go to the store, go to the grocery, stuff like that, and she was alone with her father. In other words, she did not even know that the father was sleeping. Whatever, it's her father. But since this husband of hers did this kinoi, this declaration, so now they must divorce, because what? She violated this kinoi, this restriction. Okay, so continue. the stigma of sota. The kingdom seclusion is extraordinary. Is extraordinary in that it qualifies halachically as the act of unfaithful akin to adultery, even if there was absolutely no occurrence of any actual arise conduct. Okay, so the adulterous wife called sota. So adulterous wife, again, so this husband would warn her in the presence of two witnesses. So in the case of sota, become forbidden by the Torah, by the Torah to her husband as well to her illicit partner. So when we suspect, we warn her not to seclude, and she secluded anyway. So there is no proof, there is no besamik, there's no sota waters. Let's say so she's forbidden to her husband because it's impossible to prove this way or that way, right? And she's forbidden to that guy, so also with whom she's secluded, right? So she cannot marry him ever. However, the stigma of the sota can occur halachically even without knowing act of defilement, right? So again, so we don't know as a fact, we have only suspicions. The mere seclusion with a man after her husband's specific warning cast that seclusion halachic level of suspected adultery. So when her husband warned her in the presence of two witnesses not to seclude with that man. Seclude meaning they went to and they closed the door in a building, right? They know the code how to get in apartment building, for example. They went, I don't know, maybe they were smoking pot somewhere. I don't know, maybe they were talking. I don't know, but people saw them entering. Don't need to follow them, so they witness them go in seclusion. That's enough. That's enough to report them and make you forbidden. Okay, to this husband and to this adulterer. Okay, continue. In the time of the Beis Hamikdash temple, the innocent wife could be absolved by a Mei Sota. So Mei Sota, the waters of the Sota. So it in the days of Beis Hamikdash, it was way to clarify. So if she's innocent, she drinks the Sota water. That's it. So she just go home, and she gets all of the blessings. Right? I think the blessing, children, good children, and marriage, and that's it. She can get back to her husband. Of course, it was not for nothing. I mean, he warned her, he suspected her that he did that she did whatever she did, so she was not so innocent. Let's put it this way. But our sages say in the Talmud Sota, if he was guilty himself of this adulterous relationship, this sort of word is not going to work on her, right? So I mean, is it 100% proof that she drank the water and survived, and that she's not innocent? Absolutely not. Maybe yes, maybe no. Right, but at least he can go back with her. Let me live with her. So the words. So one more time the whole sentence. Innocent wife could be absolved by Mei Sota, right? So if she's innocent, she drinks the Sota water and she's okay, right? Which could verify the reward for her innocence, right? Verify. Nowadays, however, this solution is not practical in practice. And Sota status could not be rectified and rewarded, meaning that she becomes like she has the status of Sota forever and ever, and that's a big problem. So we can stop here, and like some people they declare if they have no brain, so they declare what is it this Nazirim, right? So they according to the Torah formula. So you cannot just stop to be Nazir unless they did some mistakes in the procedure. Yeah, we can cancel after the fact. But otherwise, like the person to end the Nazir status, if he did everything correctly, it must be only when we have a temple and person can bring the sacrifice. Otherwise, there is no way, right, to cancel the status. So I mean, some people do things without thinking, or somebody just reach out to me and person has a tattoo. I mean, and he was very scared. I remember when he told me that he's scared about tattoos, so I become scared. So I mean, I thought there is the name of HaShem. It was not. There is no name of HaShem, but it's like a thing from a line from the Torah, right? Which we understand it's not right. Baruch Hashem, it's not visible, but people do like spontaneous things, which is not smart to begin with, like to say the least. But sometimes it's like you don't need to do anything because it's impossible. But sometimes it's visible and it's like it's embarrassing to the rest of their life. Like somebody has tattoo like on their neck or something. Okay. So continue with the questions. So there are questions about kinui. So again, kinui in this warning of the husband, so he suspect that she is involved with your brother. Even there is like the crazy people that can do that, but technically he's allowed to. I mean, it's not recommended, but it's not completely forbidden as well to issue this warning, because technically it's possible to abide by this warning, right? But the consequences, so they would get divorced. Okay. Understanding kinui is not practiced nowadays. I mean, as we say, people can do. I mean, it's not advisable, but the people might say, like, if they say correct formula, that's it. One way the husband can use in kinui to get rid of wife without paying get halachically. In this case, he cannot get rid not to pay a get, ksuba. So like we're paying ksuba, not get. Ksuba he cannot, and I explain why, because it was not proven. Right, so in the same is in the case of Sota, when we had the Beis Hamikdash, so husband had options, so he could have forgiven his wife. Forgiven, I mean, there is no point, there is no way back. It's very important, even back then. So he warned her not to seclude with a certain individual. Two witnesses came in front of the witnesses. Another pair of witnesses came and told him that we witnessed her going into seclusion with this guy. Even one witness, right? It's already like enough in some, like, if it was like other people saw it, like in one witness, some cases is also enough to provide this doubt. So now this husband is not allowed to live with her. That's the thing. So if he wants to divorce, no problem. So don't go through all sort of procedure. Just pay her money, right? Her ksuba, and that's it. But if you don't want, you want to go all the way to prove this way or that way, so you have to go to the Beis Hamikdash. So today, since we don't have a Beis Hamikdash, since we have no option, there is no option to prove her innocence, so there is only way to divorce, right? But since it was not proven, fault was not proven, so he must pay her, right? Okay, so let's say. Are the modern Nazirim? There is. I mean, like I heard. I don't know if it's joke, not joke, but I heard there is some people I mean, people can say the formula. It's in the Mishnah, so that they can become Nazirim. But it's I'm not sure they would the hair would be to till the floor, right? I don't know. Okay, so continue. Shalom Kadrav, a question about Midas. I wonder if we should begin a bit of spontaneous in tzedakah. Just 1 second. Tzedakah. For example, when we are inspired by Shiur and encouraged to give tzedakah, is it good to be spontaneous in this case? Before it's kicking and stopping us, that's 100%. Yes. So we got inspired. We have to do it right away, because one of the tools, I don't think, maybe we discussed it before, maybe not, is procrastination. So he's not going to say don't do it. No, of course, it's a righteous cause. Do it, but not now. Like you're tired. Well, what is going to happen tomorrow? So it's now. It's almost midnight. You think they're going to start using your money today? Like you're doing bank transfer. They're going to get the money in the morning anyway. Till they come, until they check. So maybe 11 also are good, right? And then 11 comes, and guess what? You forgot. And then you said, what? $180? I mean, it's a lot of money. What are they going to do with this money? I'm sure so many people donate them to them. I mean, technically, I think 150 should be enough. I mean, yeah, I'm not so rich. Guess what? Comes 2 hours later. Okay, it's $150. Like when I used to have this job, so $150 would be good. But like, okay, let me think of it. So okay, but 75 I can do for sure. 75 it's guaranteed. When? Tomorrow. And guess what? In a few days, person's not going to do pay send $3.5. You understand? So that's how Yitzhara works. Right, so that's when you're spontaneous and you had the idea, it's a good cause. Beezrat HaShem company, yes, organization, yes, send right away. Even if you have to pay commission, doesn't matter. Just send because Yitzhara is going to get to you. And how do you know you give enough tzedakah? So you have regret. Why should I? Right, I should not have done that. Too much money. Like now I'm going to be broke, and of course all these things that Yitzhara would come up with. So now you know that you did the mitzvah, and now, right, and you did it on the right level, because it hurts and you have doubts and regrets. Okay. So next question. A parent who prevents to leave their children at your friend who preferred. I'm sorry. A parent who preferred to leave their children at your friend's house, but whose friend had clearly immodest behavior, and who also had insufficient reasons for her to leave the children elsewhere. Okay, can be classified as abusive parent. Take them with you to work, knowing that it was an office job. The children did not behave badly, and the bosses would not complain about taking said children to work. Okay. What would be the advice for a person about how he/she should confront their abusive parents? Okay, so let's start from the beginning. I think after they said like how old are the children? Are they little babies or they're much older? I guess if they would be much older, they would stay at home. But let's see. I mean by themselves. But let's see. So a parent who is preferred to leave their children in her friend's house, but whose friends is clearly mother's behavior. So I guess a free babysitter, and the friend said, yeah, bring your children over, and she's a mother, she does all of the other things, men come, right, all these things, and who had also insufficient reasons for her to have the children elsewhere. I mean, so she could have leave her children with, I don't know, maybe the daycare or somewhere, but she decided to bring to this friend of her, a mother's girlfriend. Okay, can be classed as an abusive parent. I'm not sure abusive parent if the children get abused there somehow. If they're not, the parent is not abusive, right? I mean, if children do not suffer. Maybe they're exposed to bad things, but improper lifestyle. But is it abusive? I'm not sure. Take them with you to work. So I mean, I remember in my office there was like this thing like take your daughter to work. There's one specific day a year. I don't know what was it. Take your daughter to work. Then was take your kids to work. 2 different days. I don't know why Torah is different. Well, and there were many children come, right? And they get used to, and they go to lunch together, this and that, and I'm not sure. Like, was it? I think it was during the summer break. I think, right? I don't remember. Long time ago. All right. So if it's possible to take children to work and there is room for them, and they can entertain themselves, and they can take with them some toys and some things to draw, to read, I don't know, like to get themselves busy, there is no problem. There is no problem. So is it proper to do so? I mean, if bosses do not mind, so, and they do not disturb a person from work, right? So she can do the work as usual. Sometimes from time to time, like every like I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, she would go check up on her child. There is no problem. I mean, the bosses do not care. Like anyway, people do not sit in front of the computer all the day. They go around, chit chat, so there is no problem. So, like I would say, it would be much more preferable. Would they? I mean, it's a one-time basis. I understand. Would the bosses complain if she would do it every day? Maybe yes. Maybe it's not a business environment. I don't know. But I mean, that depends on the settings. If bosses do not care, if she's like in charge of something, and there is like separate rooms, so like yeah, should not be an issue. The bosses would not complain about taking said children to work. Okay. What would be the advice to a person about how she should confront the issue of abusive parents? I mean, for example, if this is if if you know that the person like that, right? And it's better, like we think that, for example, it's our co-worker, and better for her to bring her children to work. So I mean, you can advise, but to say they're abusive, I'm not sure why they're abusive if they leave my children with somebody else. I mean, we need more details. I mean, it's not clear to me. Right? It's not clear to me. I mean, okay. Because I mean, abusive, like I mean that the children are going to suffer would suffer some kind of trauma. But in this case, if she lives with the mother's lady, that they suffer. I'm not sure. Okay, but is it good for them? No, it's not good for them. Oh, very old, until 16 years old. I mean, if they're 16 years old, I mean, they can stay at home. I'm not sure why they have to go anywhere. They can still at home by themselves. In my mind, it was, sorry, I did not see this message. They were like little babies, like kind of 5, 6, 7, 9 years old, right? Not babies, but yeah. But after like from 9, at least where we live, from 9 and on, like there is absolutely legal according to the state law. Children can be alone at home. There is no problem. So it's not like 9 years old. I mean, unless it's very immature, they're not going to set the house on fire or something. I mean, they might, but at this age, they are much more mature than that, I think. I hope so. Okay. Okay, so yes, they suffered trauma, but their parents did not realize about the trauma. I mean, so after the fact, I mean, so if it's after the fact, I mean, what can we do? So we can try to educate the children, so don't talk to the parents. I mean, even parents, I mean, sometimes like a person does not have like guidance in their life, they try to figure out all of this solution based on what is cheaper, what is faster, like. So unfortunately, people do mistake in their life, unfortunately, right? And some mistakes simply you cannot fix, right? So if like this, now the girl is 16, and for past 3 years she was in the house of this modest neighbor, like I don't know, like she absorbed this, and this behavior, and this daughter Chas v'Shalom is going to start like behaving like that. That's parents' fault for sure. But what can we do? Like, it's after the fact. Of course, we can try to help, but the damage is done. Okay, so next question. I think there are question about wife and midas. If wife is trying her best to be a righteous wife, to fulfill all the needs and hopes of your husband, but she has a princess personality and she's a bit finicky and spoiled, how should she develop her midas and become better wife? Okay, so let's read again. That's very interesting question. A question about the wife midas. If wife is trying to her best to be righteous wife, and to be righteous, and in my mind, there is no contradiction to be righteous and to be princess. So she must be a princess. So she's a daughter of the king Basmelech. She is a princess. So she has to behave like that. And only if she behaves like a princess, so he is going to fulfill his obligation, and his obligation to love his wife as himself, as Rambam said, and respect her more than himself. But if she's like his slave, so he's not going to respect her. So we have to. She must create this boundary. You understand? Don't be the doormat. Like whatever you do, whatever you need, I'm going to do. No, like I'm a wife. I'm a respectful person, and guess what? My father is a king. Thank you very much. So don't try to pull this abusive card against me. No, I'm daughter of the king. I call my father. He is coming, and you out. Understand? Hopefully, it's not going to get to it, but that's the thing. So again, the princess personality, there is not contradiction to the good midas. Right? Again, so because husband must respect his wife. Only he's not going to respect somebody like I don't know, her clean lady. His clean lady. Okay. If I is trying her best to be righteous and will fulfill all the needs and hopes of the husband. So as we explained, not everything, not all the shtuyos, like craziness in his head, she must comply with. Right? It must be within the limit, because otherwise, like he's never going to get to the studying of the Torah. If she's so she has to be stern sometimes. And she has a princess personality. If she's a bit finicky and spoiled, again, spoiled is not good. So men like spoiled women. Just say no. There is no problem, right? Like, how should she develop her midas and become a better wife? So if I don't see from what it says here any problematic that to work on. Maybe specific example would be better. Again, finicky, there is no problem, right? You don't have to agree to all of the garbage, right? And princess, again, no problem, because he's obligated to respect and love his wife. So who can he respect? Only princess, right? Clean lady. That he comes home and she cleans the toilet. Maybe she not. So clean the toilet when he does not see it. Okay. So continue. So there are questions about marriage. I wonder, what is the appropriate amount of private time spouses should spend together? Thank you, good enough. So it depends on their schedule. So sometimes it's when you see that this time together is not productive. So for example, the spouse ran out of the topic, kosher topic, and they start discussing neighbors and his mother, her mother. So it's time to go now. So until it is still productive. You understand? So I would say, as I always recommend, study together. Take any interesting book and study together as long as you want. 1 hour, 2 hours, and then you would have things to talk about, many things in common. Right? So, for example, we learn with my wife every day, and sometimes she has a commentary. So, and since she does not talk to people outside, so sometimes I just let her talk, let her comment, and she asks me the question. I say, I don't know. And she continues, she develops her thing. That's the best, no Haloshon horror, nothing. We talk about Torah, and then she needs to express herself. And I'm amazed many times, the way he brings up the idea, from different field. So that's very, very productive. So, but if we finish this class, for example, And we would sit for half an hour more. Like, what are we going to talk about? About home, like whatever, what to buy, milk, not to. Okay, we discussed that. Bread we have. What we're going to eat on Shabbos, she said, okay, that's it. So if you linger longer, so it might bring you to the wrong conversation, and she might say something. I'm not talking about my wife, anybody's wife, like, and he answers something because the empty talk. And guess what? It's only, as we said today in Hilchos Lashon Hara, it's only a matter of time when the people started to speak in Lashon Hara. Why do you need that? So I said, how much time? Quality time, all the time. But when you see that it's enough, so it's like a woman also must know when to stop. So you see that it's the conversation, like relations go into the wrong direction, so stop it right there. Okay, so that's the thing. So continue. If it's not studying Torah, can we talk about things like food, gardening, or play kosher game together? Yeah, you can do that. I mean, if he's into the food, yeah, you can talk about food. But how long you can talk about food? I'm wondering. Okay, so I'm not sure the topic is about food. I mean, my wife talks to me about food. I don't know, maybe 7 minutes. I don't know, a day, maybe 5 minutes. I don't know. I mean, she watches all the recipe on the internet, and she always cooks something like new, like. But I mean, I don't understand anything. I mean, to tell you the truth, I do not care. Whatever she does is good. And my thing is only like to approve it. So she says she's not sure, but I think like in my mind, like it's mindset. I mean, I'm sure she cooks beautifully, but I like in my mind, whatever she cooks, it's unbelievable. Like to begin with, like whatever is it like it's hard? Okay, it could be better, but it's still beautiful. So I mean, he always gives compliments, and she is shy, and that's how. That's a healthy relationship, but many times when they try to spend a lot of time together, that brings only disaster. Just so you know. Okay. So, but games, yeah, kosher games, yeah, no problem. Talk. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So I think we answered all of the questions today. So, right. So story we did this week. So like I think we're going to do Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday, right? The story, Beezrat HaShem. So thank you very much for learning with us. It was a very successful week. Baruch Hashem, we covered a lot of topics, and Beezrat HaShem, next week we should cover even more. But we have holidays. So Monday we do going to learn. I'm going to tell you what time, maybe 5 minutes later. But then we're going to have holidays, right? Right. Thank you very much. Good night, good Shabbos, and until Monday, Beezrat HaShem. Thank you.